This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. A movie some years back depicted the Revolutionary War. And at the beginning, before it got started, the colonies were debating of whether they should go to war with England and gain their ability and their freedom to be a nation. One of the gentlemen made a comment. He said, "Why do I want to trade a tyrant 3,000 miles away over in England for 3,000 tyrants that are locally would be elected, for they can trample my rights just as easily or better than a tyrant 3,000 miles away." He had a good point. And today it's much worse, with all of the regulations and the elected each wanting to carve out a niche for themselves so they can have a job for life at your expense all too often. One of the semi-newcomers, if you will, is Cortez, the lady congressman. She, up to this date, had never said a single thing that I agreed with until now. She says that they need to limit the amount of interest that they can charge you to 15%. Now, put it in context, back when I was younger, first married, if you will, it was 18% was the most that you could charge anyone for interest. Any higher than that, it was loan sharking, and you could be fined and go to prison. Prison for loan sharking, okay? Keep that in mind. The bottom line is now it's 36%. 36%, nobody digs their way out of that kind of interest and that deep a hole, you bet. Terrible what they've done. At the same time, anyone that's saved, I know many older people now that I'm old, that have saved money. They may have 50 or 100,000 or a little more than that, but that money is only getting 0.5% interest at the bank. That same bank turns around and loans it for 6 to 10%. Or if they have a credit card system or go into that line, all of a sudden it can go again up to 36% interest. 36%. Yeah, devastating, devastating. And so, to Cortez, I have to say, you're on the right wavelength when you're talking about this. I assume she can't get it passed, but it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. And I would go one further and simply say, okay, if a bank is going to pay you 0.5%, or let's move it up to 1% to make it easier to understand, they're going to pay you 1%, and they're going to loan it out for 6 to 10% or whatever they so desire. Why not have the law in the same category that simply says, whatever you borrow money from the people ourselves for 1%, for example, you can't loan it for over 3%. You can't loan it for more than 2% more than what you have bought it for. That means even if they loan you 3%, they can't loan it for over 5%. Cut their margins. And if you say, oh, the banks might go broke, really? Have you seen all these banks being built in southwest Nebraska? They look like Taj Mahals. They are so flush with money, so much wealth, absolutely. And they do it on the backs of the people at 0.5% interest. These people that have worked all their lives, saved, and have a little bit of money saved up, get 0.5%. An example is if you put $100 in, they will give you 0.5% yearly for that, or 50 cents. You put 100 in, they give you 50 cents a year interest. And that 50% or 50 cents is also taxed. A lot of things wrong, and a lot of things that could be done to correct and make it better or make it right. Will it? More than likely not. But Cortez, at least she has that inkling, and that always tells me that even the hardcore Democrat, just as a hardcore Republican, once in a while, they can get it right. You guys have a good day.